All right, thanks, guys. We improved to 5-0 in our board member tier on patreon.com/Brock Page last night. We're also hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website as well. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/Brock Page. All right, we got ourselves a nice slate of NBA action here today, so let's go ahead and get into it. Beginning with the Celtics taking on the Hornets, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Charlotte. The Celtics are minus 6.5, total at 218. Now we saw a half a point move toward Boston and movement downward on the total. The Celtics opened 6, up to 6.5, total opened 219, down to 218. 66% of the consensus are leaning toward Boston, 68% shaded toward the over. Right now Charlotte is plus 235 on the money line. The Hornets are 3-0 straight up in their last 3 games. They've also successfully covered the number in their last 4 straight. They rank in the top 5 in three-point percentage, top 10 in home offensive field goal percentage as well. Devontae Graham is scoring 17 points a game, 7 assists. Terry Rozier, 17 a game, 6 assists. And Cody Zeller, 11 rebounds for him for the Charlotte team. Now on the other side, a little bit different story here. Boston has failed to cover in their last 2 straight. Cantor and Brown are both listed as questionable for tonight's action. The Celtics also rank in the bottom 5 in field goal percentage, bottom 5 in defensive rebounding. Now total-wise, Charlotte is 4-3 to the over thus far in the year. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take Charlotte plus 7 at home and the over 218 in that game. Next matchup, Thunder, Spurs, 8:30 San Antonio. The Spurs are minus 4.5, total 214 and a hook. We're seeing pretty significant movement in this game. We saw a 1-point fade of San Antonio and movement downward on the total. The Spurs open 5.5, down to minus 4.5. Total open 218 and a hook, all the way down to 214 and a half. 62% of the consensus are leaning towards San Antonio. 65% shaded toward the over. Right now, OKC is plus $1.60 on the money line. Now the Thunder are 5-2 against the spread overall for the year. They're also 2-0 ATS when traveling. They rank in the top 5 in offensive rebounding. They also rank in the top 5 in points allowed. They're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's scoring 22 points a game, 7 rebounds. Danilo Gallinari, 18 points a game for him, 5 rebounds as well. And Steven Adams is averaging double-digit rebounds. As a matter of fact, Steven Adams is averaging 12 boards a game for OKC. Now, the Thunder rank in the top 5 in defensive field goal percentage. They also rank in the top 5 in defensive three-point percentage at home. Now, the Spurs on the other side, they failed to cover in 6 out of their 7 games overall for the season. They're also 0-4 against the spread at home. They rank in the bottom 10 in three-point percentage. And they're also just 2-10 against the spread in their last 12 at home, dating back to last season. Now, total-wise, San Antonio 4-2 to the over thus far in the year, 75% to the over at home. I'm going to buy the hook, slide it up, and take OKC plus 5 in the over 214.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Thursday's NBA action. But before we get into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/Brock Page, where we are 5-0 straight up in our last 5 board member picks. We're also hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website as well. We do daily plays on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. We also have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Now, the main difference between this YouTube channel and my Patreon page is this. On YouTube, we handicap every single game, the side and the total. On Patreon, we really narrow it down and focus on 2 to 3 picks per day. Those are my personal plays. Those are plays that I personally have action on. So I'm just letting you know, if you handicap games, if you bet the way that I present the YouTube channel, you're not going to win. You cannot place every bet on every game on the entire board and win. The math is against you, and the books are just too good. So Patreon, we narrow it down. We focus on 2 to 3, sometimes 4 and 5 premium plays a day. Those are plays that I personally have action on. That is your main difference between YouTube and Patreon. Plus, my Patreon win percentage is a lot better than on YouTube. You can actually check out my current win percentage, my current record, right on the homepage. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. The link for that site is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and get into our next game, and that is going to be Miami Heat taking on the Suns. 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Phoenix. The Suns are -1.5, total 219. We saw a half a point move toward Phoenix and movement upward on the total. The Suns open 1 up to -1.5, total open 218.5 up to 219. 56% of the consensus are leaning toward Phoenix, 75% shaded toward the over. Right now the Heat are +102 on the money line. Miami 2-2 straight up away from home. They're also 2-2 straight up as the dog. They rank in the bottom 10 in free throw percentage, bottom 10 in points allowed on the road. Now Phoenix on the other side, winners in their last 3 straight. They're also perfect on the year with regard to the spread. They're 7-0 against the spread overall for the season. They're in second place in the Pacific Division, just 1 game back of the Lakers. Devin Booker is scoring 26 a game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Kelly Oubre, 18 points a game, 6 rebounds. And Frank Kaminsky is averaging 6 boards a game as well for the Suns. Phoenix is in the top 10 in scoring on average per game, top 5 in field goal percentage, top 10 in defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Phoenix is 60% to the over in their last 10, taking on the Heat. I'm going to buy the hook, slide it down, and take Phoenix -1 and the over 219 in that game. And we're going to go ahead and slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Blazers taking on the Clippers, 10:30 Eastern tip-off in Los Angeles. The Clippers are -5, total 225.5. We saw a 1-point fade of the Clippers and movement downward on the total. LA open -6, down to -5. Total open 227, down to 225.5. 66% are leaning Clippers, 68% shaded toward the over. Right now, Portland is +170 on the money line. Now, keep in mind, if you're backing Portland in this spot here, Gasol, Nurkic, and Collins are still out indefinitely, Collins serving a suspension. Now, Portland has failed to cover in their last 2 games. They're also 1-3 straight up in their last 4. The Blazers rank in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding on average per game, bottom 10 in points allowed. They failed to win in 3 out of their last 4 games as the official Vegas underdog as well. Now, the Clippers on the other side, they've successfully covered the number in their last 3 straight. They're also 5-3 against the spread overall for the year. Kawhi Leonard leading the charge, 29 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Tonight will not be a load management night. He will be in the lineup. Controversial sit-out for Kawhi in the last game. But anyway, right behind him is Lou Williams, 22 points a game, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. And Montrezl Harrell, the big guy, 21 points a game, 7 rebounds for him. Now, the Clippers rank in the top 5 in field goal percentage, top 5 in defensive rebounding. When it comes to the total, the Clippers are 5-3 to the under overall for the season, 80% to the under at home. I'm going to lean Clippers -5 and the under 225.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. I like the Clippers -5, under 225.5 in that game. Phoenix -1 over 219. OKC +5 over 214.5. And last but certainly not least, I like Charlotte +7 in the over 218 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and slide into our shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to Billy Boogaloo, WHD Gaming, OCZYS Triple M. Shout out to Jet CLNTN. Shout out to Ace Hardy, Ronnie Christie, Rocco Alvarez, Troy Lyon, Terrell Parrott, Nelgod206, Gerald Harris, Poetic Show. Shout out to the Sauce Sensei Master Drip Lord. Shout out to Vernon Williard, Mr. Atkins 1, Vinny Smooth, and last but certainly not least, shout out to Isaiah Morales. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We improved our board member record again last night. We're now 5-0 in our last 5 board member plays on that site. We're also hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website as well. We do daily plays on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. The main difference between YouTube and Patreon is on YouTube we cap every single game. You cannot make money doing that. You cannot make a bet on every single game on the board, side and total, and make money. The math is against you. The books are too good setting those lines. On Patreon, what we do is we focus on 3 to 4 plays on that site a day. They're my personal premium plays. They're plays that I personally have action on, and that's just what we do on that site. And we certainly have a much better win percentage on Patreon than we do on YouTube. Like I said, you cannot play every single game and have a good winning percentage. So anyway, that is the value with Patreon. You can actually access my current record for free right on the homepage. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for tuning in right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.